Well, today, I'm going to continue my series on how to use the science of mind. And we're going to talk about spiritual cause and physical effect. But let's start where we started every conversation. There is a creative power that is everywhere present. It is always responding to the nature of our thoughts, and we can consciously choose as to how we use it. So think about that. There is a creative power. We're admitting one creative power. It's everywhere present, all the time. It's always working. And it is responding to the nature of our thoughts. In other words, to our beliefs. It's responding to what we believe. And we know what our beliefs are. If you've been listening for a while, you understand that your beliefs are your thoughts, your words, your actions, and your feelings aligned toward a specific result, held persistently and consistently, either consciously and or unconsciously. And you get to choose where you put your focus. And only you get to choose. Now, other people may give you their views and you may blindly adopt them, but by you not choosing to think differently, you've made a choice. You see, in practicing the science of the mind, we do not deny the physical body or the physical universe. We simply affirm that they are governed by a spiritual law that governs everything. You see, we don't deny that there's war. We don't deny that there's illness. We don't deny anything that's going out there and say it doesn't exist. No, it is an experience. It's the physical universe demonstrating. But what we do know is that there is a cause behind it, a spiritual cause. And we know that there is a law that governs everything, a law that brings harmony, a law that creates. We call that the law of physical effect and spiritual cause, or the law of cause and effect. You see, the physical body is not an illusion, but it is an effect within something that governs it. So in other words, in order for there to be an effect, there has to be a cause. And if the cause causes the effect, there must be a law that makes that happen. And that law is mechanical, in that it doesn't discern what's right or wrong. It simply takes the image given to it and it creates it. So your health is a prime example of that. Your health is in response to the thoughts that you're thinking. Are you thinking healthy thoughts? Right now, in the time of COVID, are you in fear of COVID? If you're in fear of COVID, you've got fearful thoughts. Those fearful thoughts create an energy. That energy will attract a like situation. My idea is, no, think of your body as whole, perfect, and complete. Know that you are spirit expressing, and that in divine spirit, there is no illness. Illness cannot exist within spirit. It's only in the illusion that we're not one that illness can exist. You see, all physical bodies are subject to this higher intelligence that we call the law of cause and effect. There isn't a body out there. Someone's not better than another. You can change your DNA by what you believe, and science has proven that. Bruce Lipton, who's a cellular biologist, talks about this, shows us how they've done this with cells in petri dishes. Identical cells that they're able to change by simply the environment that they put the cells in. You see, we did not create the physical body, but rather we simply realize there is one. The person who practices science of mind does not work with the physical body, but rather with the spiritual idea behind the body. A practitioner of the science of mind, or a practitioner of religious science, or a practitioner of the law of cause and effect, they never work with the effect. They always work with the cause. So if I'm working with someone who has cancer, I'm never treating the cancer. Never. I'm creating an idea within the infinite mind of a perfect, healthy body. A perfect, healthy mind. I never, ever look at the condition or the effect. I go immediately to cause. That's where all spiritual mind treatment is. In other words, if you were looking at the idea of abundance, I would not treat that you cannot pay your bills. I would treat that you knew that you were one with the infinite and that all abundance is now yours. And in that treatment, in the acceptance of that treatment, you open up to receive greater and greater and greater experience of the abundance that is life. You see, our job as practitioners is to transpose the misinterpretation of the truth. We have become materialists, believing that the material has to be there in order for us to feel good. It's just the opposite. How we feel and what we think causes the material and our response to it. We've been taught backwards. And that's how materialism in the world, that's how our economy works right now if you don't get it. What are they telling you? You buy this car, you're going to feel good. You have this type of relationship, you're going to feel good. No, it has nothing to do with that. It's all about who are you being? And it doesn't matter what the car is or who the person is. You're going to have a great experience driving, or you're going to have a great experience with the relationship because it's who you are. Illusion is not in the conditions of things, but rather in the way we interpret them. Everything is about the perspective in which we look at things. Everything is perspective. It is the lens that we see life. And in that lens, our life is. Now, here's the key. You can change the lens. You can adjust the lens. And that's what we as practitioners do. We form a new belief. That new belief changes the lens of life. In practice, in everyday life, we use logic and reason to take us as far as we can. But once we can't go as far as we want, then we move to creating the divine idea behind the thing we want. See, we're always creating a divine idea. And that divine idea demonstrates in our lives. Our job is to realize that there is one spirit in the universe, and every manifestation is some form of it. There's not a you and an I. There's not two of us. We're all part of the one spirit. In essence, everything is connected. This is one infinite intelligence demonstrating as unique individualizations of it, but everything is still connected no matter what is happening. And even if we can't perceive it, the connection exists. And our job as practitioners is to realize this oneness. You see, form, experience, always corresponds with the idea we hold in consciousness. The form could actually be there, but because the idea, the perspective we're looking at, we can't even see that the form we're desiring is already there. The person of our dreams could already be in our life, but because we haven't built a mental image of it, we're not even open to see that that person exists. Our role as practitioners is to provide our perfect image or idea of that which we seek to have or to experience. And realize this, we don't really seek to have anything. We seek the experience of having something. It's always, always about the experience of life that we're looking for. Without the experience, why would you want a car? Without the experience of a loving relationship, why would you want a relationship? Without the experience of eating and tasting a great food, why would you want the great food? It's the experience we associate with things that give it its juice, that cause this desire within us to want it and want more. You see, we as practitioners must have a deep faith, conviction, and a complete acceptance of the spiritual universe, the spiritual person. And we must have that here and now. In other words, we don't see what we want in the future. We see it right here, right now. Our role in the creative process is to create the vision and to hold the vision as if it were already done. That's the role of the creator. That's our role. You see, pure spirit is at the center of every organ, every action, every function of our being. Our job is to realize that spirit is the cause and is always there. And it is not brought into our being. This idea is not brought into our being by our words or our statements. It is revealed and brought to light by them. So as we speak with belief and conviction, knowing our oneness, we bring into the light that which we are seeking. And the light creates that which we desire. You see, in the spiritual, there is no congestion, confusion, infection, or wrong action. It's in the disconnection with the spiritual that we realize the congestion, confusion, infection, and wrong action. In oneness, where there is no contrast, no disease can possibly be experienced. Our role is to embody this truth, which we do through the realization of oneness with the universal mind. And when we do that, we embrace our own perfection. The spiritual law of life works automatically. It always produces exactly what we want. In other words, we cannot hide from it. It is always there. It is always working. It is always responding to our thoughts. Whatever you believe about them will be your experience. The key thing is to understand there can be no effective healing or revelation until our consciousness reunites with our source, reunites with allness. That's the key. And one of the things that I've come to understand is that the way to reunite is in gratitude for everything, not just some things, gratitude for everything. And the one thing that is closest to my heart is a deep practice of meditation. Meditation is where we let go of the body, we let go of the mind, and we center into the oneness. And from the oneness, when we speak our words with clarity, we set the law of cause and effect in motion, and the experience is guaranteed now. Here's the key thing. Now that you know that there is a law of cause and effect, are you willing to take conscious control and use it to create the life of your dreams?